Last year's LG V20 found a passionate niche of customers thanks to its powerful creation tools. It gave users unmatched manual control over video recording, letting them adjust everything from white balance to bitrate. It had a removable battery that could be swapped out for a spare in situations where you couldn't plug in, and the quad DAC offered high-end headphone owners a best-in-class listening experience. But the V20 was hamstrung by an awkward, relatively useless secondary display and its sheer cumbersome size. For 2017, LG is coming back with the V30. This time, design was clearly the priority. The V30 still retains many of its predecessor's unique strengths, but it also loses a big one. Welcome back to QatNip, and today we present you some official details on the launch of the much awaited LG V30. So come on, let's learn together. Let's get it out of the way. The V30 looks a lot like Samsung's Galaxy S8. It's got a 6-inch 18:9 Quad HD OLED screen with dramatically shrunken bezels, rounded corners, and slight curves to the left and right sides. The second screen from the V10 and V20 is gone completely, and good riddance to that. The shiny metal frame that the glass curves into is also reminiscent of Samsung's flagship. LG might call its display design full vision, but it definitely looks way more like an infinity display than the flat-screened LG G6 did. All of this design refinement results in the V30 being much easier and more comfortable to use than the model it replaces. This entire phone fits inside the dimensions of a Pixel XL, whereas the V30 was a giant that was even larger than an iPhone 7 Plus. The V30's screen isn't curved to nearly the same extent as S8's, though. As a result, you do notice a bit more of those side bezels. For the S8 Plus, people might be annoyed by the reflections and glare that could hit the display's curves depending on the surroundings. The OLED panel is certainly nice, but it doesn't pop with saturation quite as much as Samsung's, nor does it get as bright in sunlight or dark when using your phone at night. It's nice to see LG returning to OLED, but our early impressions are that Samsung still runs the game. To LG's credit though, everything about this display seems very uniform and haven't seen any out of place hints of color like the red tint issues that have affected some Samsung devices. If this same display is to be the foundation of Google's Pixel 2 XL, as has been rumored, consider us excited. The back of the V30 is Gorilla Glass 5 with a dual lens camera system covered by Gorilla Glass 4 and a fingerprint sensor that's mercifully in the right place where your index finger naturally rests. The major difference here compared to the V20 is that the back is non-removable, so there's no way to hot swap the 3300 mAh battery inside. That's the same battery cell capacity that Samsung is using to power the Galaxy Note 8 and its even larger screen. So hopefully the V30's stamina won't be a limiting factor here. The upside is that the V30 is now IP68 water and dust resistant and supports wireless charging. The V20 offered neither, and despite its all-screen look, LG says V30 has passed over a dozen military standard durability tests and remains rated MIL STD 810G. The V30's two cameras still take the same approach that LG has favored since the whole trend began. One of them is a regular focal length and the other is a super wide angle lens. This time the primary 16 megapixel camera has an aperture of f/1.6, which is the best of any flagship phone today if you're looking purely at specs. Theoretically, that should help produce better nighttime shots. The wider 13 megapixel camera offers a 120-degree angle of view, and LG has made improvements to reduce distortion that can stem from that perspective. For those drawn to the V20's video recording capabilities, all the same manual controls and fine-tuning are still present, but new to the V30 are what LG calls Cine Effects, which are a batch of 16 color grading presets that you can apply before hitting record. LG claims that these are significantly better quality than just part of the camera's Cine Video mode, which also lets you tap on something in the frame and zoom in on it very smoothly. Like the V20, the V30's microphones can record lossless audio and won't distort in loud environments. Speaking of, the V30 will run Android 7.1.2 out of the box, which is somewhat disappointing since the V30 was the first device to ship with the brand new major release of Android last year. Apparently, LG didn't feel the same need to lead its competitors with Android 8.0 Oreo. LG uses Google's apps in some cases. Android Messenger is the default SMS app, but still doubles up on others like the clock, calendar, gallery, and memos or tasks. We see no problem with LG's excellent camera and the HD audio recorder app sticking around, but the rest of it needs a serious overhaul. That's true for everything from the settings menu to the app tray, which requires you to resort your apps alphabetically every single time you install a new one to keep them in order. The V30 does get a couple new software tricks when it comes to unlocking your phone. The fingerprint, knock-knock, and traditional pin options are all included, but now LG has also added face unlock and voice unlock. You can set set voice unlock to respond to OK Google or pick your own custom wake or unlock phrase. From an aesthetic standpoint, this is almost certainly the nicest smartphone that the company has ever produced, and it still does things that other devices simply can't. Users who prefer Google's stock light version of Android will probably shrug this one off, but the next Pixel will probably omit the sublime headphone audio and powerful creation capabilities. Choices. So that's it for the V30. We hope you liked the video and consider subscribing if you really loved it. A million thanks to our subscriber family for their continuous love and support, and until next time, stay happy and stay tuned.